and I want to share a few things. So I've just been at the Tantra Festival in Switzerland, and before that at Sexability in Ängsbacka. Östergötland Tantra Festival, nice. Yeah. And I have been there as well at the Östergötland Tantra Festival. And just the last festival, the Swiss Tantra Festival, there are so many people throwing, facilitator and participants throwing this terminology about masculine and feminine and dark masculine and dark feminine around. And then amongst us facilitator, we were talking then kind of more in detail. So what do you mean when you say this and that, and dark masculine and dark feminine, and what's the quality? And I just noticed that there are so many different perceptions of it, and different people having different associations. And so I will not tell you that my explanation of the way how I see that is the only one or the right one. It's just the one that works for me, in correlation with the system that I'm going to show you. And from there, you can make up your own mind if you want to use it in any way. It's supportive for you. So hi and welcome everyone. My name is Matt. I'm the founder of Somatic Consent, and I just noticed my voice. I lost my voice yesterday. I was in a demo in the Tantra Festival and did the emotional release exercise to demo, and some of you have done that. And yesterday my voice was completely gone. So I'm the founder of Somatic Consent. I have been around the world a few times. I've been teaching Tantra and sacred sexuality. I'm a body worker. I'm a facilitator educator. I was a student of Betty Martin for 6 years. And have been teaching the Wheel of Consent. Harry Fedis, the founder of the 3-Minute Game, is my mentor, wrote the foreword in my book, Orgasmic Blueprint, that you can get either on Amazon, self-published, or you can go on my webpage and can download it. I have as well created the Somatic Consent Academy, what is an online platform where I have every Monday at this time a 90-minute online meeting that is part of the academy, where people can come and ask questions around somatic consent and how to play the 3-minute game, how to implement that in their relationship, what the shadows are, how to find the shadows, and all kind of questions, how to bring that into your relationship, into your daily life, and into your love relationship and intimate connection. And today we have such a full house, what I really love, because I was making, beginning of the week, some more posts and was saying, I just want to break that down into the dark masculine and into the dark feminine, and what it meant for me and how to find it. And that is an important energy structure in our nervous system that we all need to be capable of implementing. And a few words before that, the way how I see that dark masculine and dark feminine in my book doesn't mean it belongs to a male body or a female body. These are qualities that belong to all of us, and makes more sense when we talk about the polarities. So this is not related to a gender orientation. It's literally for all people. And I haven't found better explanation. And somebody at the Sexability Festival said just like, well, we just can take that out of the equation and call that, instead of dark masculine and feminine, we call that rivers and trees. But that doesn't mean anything to anybody at all. So therefore, I just stick to this, and specifically from the perspective of the tantric dynamics, it makes sense from the explanation of polarity. So what I would like to do before we start with anything, give you a little bit of an overview what we're going to do. We do in a few minutes the hand meditation, and then I will show you some slides, and then we open it up for questions and answers, what it could mean, and let's have a human-to-human discussion and conversation. And so the entire session is recorded from my side, And if you don't want to be seen and don't want to say anything, please be aware of that you only say how much you want to say and what you want to say. If there's anything that you don't feel comfortable with that you say and you really want that to be deleted or cut out, then please reach out afterwards to me so that I can cut it out. Beside that, this is a semi-confidential place, so please don't share anybody else's things that they say, but share your own experiences, and so that you speak from your own experience. That's what I would like. So what I would like to open up to is, for a few moments, a breakout room, so that each one of you will find another person, and each one of you has 2 minutes to share from your perspective what is your association with dark masculine and dark feminine, so that we just have a little bit of reflection. And I cannot really tell you who you're ending up with in a breakout room. If you're landing in a breakout room with somebody where you feel like, nah, I don't want to go here, then say thank you and goodbye and come back. Yeah? So that this is totally your choice. So you will have 2 minutes each, and while you speaking about what does it mean for you, the dark masculine or the dark feminine, then, okay, there's Erica's camera doesn't work. So when you speak about the dark masculine and the dark feminine, the person who is speaking is just talking about themselves, what their association is. It's not about entertaining the other person or explaining anything to the other person. It's just about sharing your own perception of this. And the other person who is not talking is just listening. And it's not about interfering or saying anything or responding, just listening to the other person. And I will tell later what that has in storage and why I do that. Welcome back. And please feel free to unmute yourself if you would like to speak. What is your association with the dark masculine and with the dark feminine? So please feel free to share that with the world. How do you see it?
I'm happy to speak. Yeah, I really love my dark. I really embrace my dark. I really use it as a driver for things that I want to experience in the world. And so I feel like I'm really grateful and happy in my dark, and I like to meet other people in the dark. And for me, it's this thing of um, if we're willing to meet there, then I really have a basis of I can build human connection, and for me, I can really trust the dark.
What do you mean with the dark? Give us a few things in your association.
So my power, my sexuality, my mystery, my wildness, my chaos, my shadows, my fucking flaws, all of it. Just bring it all to me. Bring it. I'll bring it to you, and then we can have a basis of something to work from. And I really love meeting people there. Mm.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Who next or who else? Your association, however you see it and feel it, what it is it for you?
I'm also happy to share.
Yes, please.
For me, I think the dark masculine and feminine can be two things for me. So either like in its healthy aspect or in the negative aspect. And in the healthy aspect, I would say it's more the like a rooted power. It's like it's healthy and it's very loving. It's but it's deeper than to be in the light in some way. But then the dark masculine and feminine could also be like the suppression, the shadows, like toxicity, things that doesn't want to be seen. But yeah, for me, those can be like two different aspects of that. That's what I see right now. Thank you.
Okay, two more. What's your association? What is
I
it for
can
you?
tell.
Dark masculine, dark feminine. Petra, yes, please.
Yeah, so we were talking about this this very strong wisdom from the earth, connecting that women, wise women connecting to the earth, and really, yeah, it's a very, very deep knowing, and how that is cut off and separated from the society and the culture a lot, where the magic and the wisdom is. If we go there, it's so beautiful to meet from there and to be there. And then dark masculine, we talked about, like I felt this kind of this strong protection of the wisdom, this strong protection of the wisdom from the women, or the wisdom from the earth, and the wisdom. Yeah, it felt really, for me, it felt really grounding and beautiful to talk about this short moment that we had. Thank you.
Last one.
Yes, I would like to share. At the beginning, when I thought about dark masculine, dark feminine, I thought about doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine, but if it's dark, nothing is really being seen. So it's a bit of like an unconscious or subconscious sort of mechanism that happens where there's not an owning of one's own power. But then this would be like in an individual level, like if like then I got this insight into, okay, then what is dark? Like something dark in me can be something that I cannot see, but like what is dark in society? Like this is something that is completely different. So something that is dark for me might not be something that is dark for society, and vice versa. So I had this first association, which was individual, like something that we're not seeing, and then something more collective, like something society doesn't want to see, like men being and women being very aggressive, or being really angry, or being even men crying or having deep, intense suffering feelings. Yeah, then this could be a dark archetype. Doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine, it's just dark. That was my reflection.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I love that, because we are 20 or over 20 people in the room, and the thing is that we're having 20 different associations with it, and none of them is right or wrong. It's just different, you know. And I had this at the Tantra Festival. I did an exercise there that some of you have played with me. Is the predator, protector, prey exercise in my workshop. And when I'm at the end of this exercise, I give you a little bit of a context. So I ask people to walk through the room and identify with being prey, so an animal that can be eaten, like a deer or a rabbit. And then I ask everybody to choose one person in the room who is your protector, yeah, without pointing that person out. You just like have that internally recognized. And then you choose another person that is your predator. And your job as prey, as a vulnerable being, you have to walk through the room that you bring your protector between you and the predator. So literally you hide behind your predator, behind your protector, that the predator can't see you. And what happens in the room, the entire room is start to run around in chaos, and it's just like people bump into each other and they're running, and this is really funny. And so we play that for about a few minutes, and the entire room is just like completely chaos. And then I ask at the end, so how does it feel being identified as prey? And then there are as many people in the room different associations, how they feel. Some people say scary, some people say it's playful, some people say this is just vulnerable, and some people say this is just really exciting and is really nice. So there is no right or wrong. There are 20 different neurological stages that people having and that are identified with or not identified with, but that comes up. And then I asked in the room, so who of you is was aware that you were a protector to somebody else? And there are normally, you know, a handful of people raising their hand, and I ask, how was that? And then some people say, yeah, I feel empowered. Yeah, I'm protecting. Yeah, I'm feeling strong. Yeah, I'm feeling important. You know, there's another set of association on top of that being prey. And then I ask, so who of you in the room was aware that you were a predator? And there's very little, sometimes one or two people recognizing that they were chosen as a predator. And then I said, you know, you cannot choose. You have no power of the choice who is choosing you as a predator. None of us here has this choice. Yeah. We will be in the association and in the projection of other people, and each and one of us is dangerous. Whatever that means, I don't know, but we are this. We have no control and choice over that, who's choosing us as a predator. And that said, with the dark masculine and with the dark feminine is the same association. There is no right or wrong. Some people say the dark masculine or the dark feminine is something lethal or is something dangerous or is and I don't know. I think each and one of us has to find in the story of life their own association with it to be more comfortable in life when it comes to discovering these qualities. And whatever they are, you know, this is your journey and nobody can tell you how the journey will unfold. My intention is with this little bit that we can do here today to give you a little bit of insights and feel like maybe planting some seeds, they can grow into a direction you have a benefit from, or you can grow into another direction that is beneficial for you or for others. And that what you have done when you went to the breakout room and you were talking about yourself, your own association, and you speak, this is, in my understanding, and I will explain that more, already the dark masculine speaking. Because if you have the moment to speak for yourself and you speak your own truth, not to entertain, not to educate, not to make anybody else believing something or right or wrong, you speak your own insights, this is already your dark masculine. Speaking your truth is your dark masculine. And I will explain why that is and how to find that and how you can use it as a mapping to map that out for yourself. Elena and Florian, I've seen yourself. We just go there in a minute. And when you were on the other side, when you were listening to the other person speaking about themselves, you were in your dark feminine. You were allowing somebody else having space, and you were just there to listening to somebody else's explanation about what they think is the dark masculine or dark feminine. So then when you just listen and you are just there, this is your dark feminine. Please, Elena and Florian, and then I go in another exercise.
Hi, Matthias. A simple question, but maybe not so simple anyway. Why dark masculine and not just masculine? If the quality of this authentic expression is masculine, and that's a anyway question, but why is it masculine in terms of dark and not just masculine and what's supposed to light masculine or bright or whatever the opposite is?
I don't understand the question. Can you go a little bit deeper?
Yes, of course. What I mean is, because, and I must admit, I have no or very little association with dark masculine, but dark feminine. I've heard the expressions. I feel them curiously, probably, whatever, maybe a little bit forbidden or whatnot. But why would that not simply be, when you say you speak your own truth and just your truth, why would that not simply be masculine and that's it?
All right. Okay, got you. Thank you. Good.
Thanks.
Yeah. So everybody knows this dynamic of yin and yang. Yeah. So the polarities, masculine and feminine, and this is very limited if you just say masculine and feminine. So I have seen that in the Tantra field or in the shamanic field evolving over the last years, kind of dividing that more in the light and into the dark dynamics. And the dark dynamic has been very often associated with the shadows or with the wrong side or with a survival mechanism. And as much as I understand the nervous system and our survival mechanisms, we have all shadows. They are well designed survival mechanisms that we all needed to create to make it through, to be alive. So you can actually divide the masculine into the dark and into the light masculine, and the same for the feminine. And then you have the shadows, what is the unhealthy part. And the unhealthy part is not the, let's say the dark masculine or the dark feminine is not the shadow. It's just the more intensity in our expression of ourself. Yeah. While the survival mechanisms or the unhealthy part is more like what you can say, what are the shadows. It's still kind of very abstract, but this is what I would like to show you in the next 5 minutes, that you just get a more sense and put that in a direction, or get it as a compass, if you want to say so. But this first exercise about you speak about yourself and speak and say what you want to say, this is my expression already of the dark masculine. And you listening to somebody else is my expression of the dark feminine. Yeah, so you allow somebody else to speak. You give space for other people to be themselves. So it's more like a surrender dynamic. But I will break it more down that you have a deeper understanding. But now I would like to show you the exercise that I pray down like crazy. And everybody of you have done that, you know, a gazillion times. And the association that you just do with it is, of course, your own thing. But this is the easiest way to find into a neurological, emotional, embodied understanding of the dark masculine. Yeah? And that's literally your own impulses, to follow your own impulses. And you can not imagine what it is, or you can. It's the hand meditation. The hand meditation is the doorway into the dark masculine, and I will show you exactly why that is and how that works. So what I would like you to do is change my camera here a little bit, blink. So here you see my book. It's just, I just do some marketing. Is that the dark masculine? I think so, because I do it because I want it. but you see my hands here, yeah? And this is just to show you what I do with my hands. And I invite you to just take something in your hands. I have a piece of wood here, and we do that for about 5 minutes. It can be anything. If I have a tripod here, you can use a tripod, or something small, something solid, whatever it is. The important piece is that you lean back. You just rest in your body. Relax your spine, relax your shoulders. There's nothing to do here than just to be and hold something in your hands. And some of you will come up with some thoughts or some judgments or some feelings that are not comfortable, whatever it is. Welcome it all, whatever comes up. And it's just for about 5 minutes. But it will give you the understanding what this dark masculine literally has in storage and why it is so important in my world. So when you have that object in your hands and you just feel that for a moment, you will notice that you label it. You know the purpose, how to use it and what to use it for, so that your mind create a context of that. Yeah? Everybody does that. And I invite you to go straight a level deeper and allow this part of your mind to settle. And then you go more on the haptic level of the object. What is the temperature? What is the density? Is it fragile? Is it solid? Is it round? Is it sharp? Is it smooth? Is it riffled? So you just, on the tactile level, can collect a lot of information here. And then on one point, I invite you to slow down your speed of movement by half and slow it down by half again. So get really, really slowly here. Really micro movements. And then you either move the object on one hand or you move your hand over the object and go more on an explorative journey here. And what we're looking for is an tingleish, electromagnetic, sensual, pleasant, maybe pleasurable sensation in your skin, in your hands. Something that feels pleasant to you while you are in action. So you move your hands by choice and just feel with your hand the object, maybe between your fingers, maybe on your palms or your fingertips. And just allow yourself to feel while you are in action. And there might come some thoughts and some feelings up for you, and they're all welcome. There's nothing to give here, nowhere to get. It's just you and the sensation in your hands. And if your mind wanders or your attention goes somewhere else, just give your muscle of attention this little extra workout to bring it straight back to your skin in your hands. The softness, and just feel and just sense. And the formula here is the slower you go, the more you will feel. Doesn't mean anything. And again, if your attention moves and goes somewhere else, or you have some judgments coming up or some uncomfortable feelings, just bring your attention back to your skin and your hands. And you might have some other feelings coming up. Just welcome them all and bring your attention straight back to your hands. Nothing more, nothing less. Just very simple. If you start getting tired or heavy or moaning, that's all welcome. Stay with your attention in your hands, with a pleasant sensation. slowly and gentle, slow your movement down till you stop. Hold the object for a moment there and just notice what you notice within yourself. And then your own way, opening your eyes, orient yourself somewhere, bring your attention back to the screen. And I'll just keep my camera for that for a little while and continue playing. And that's my invitation to each and one of you during the rest of this little session here. Keep that in your hands because it does something. And that's my question to you as reflections. What do you notice about yourself doing that for 5 minutes? Please feel free to unmute yourself and just speak from your own experiences. And each and one of you has a different one. And if you can speak.
I would say,
Yes.
I would say assess tiredness, but I also unlocked a very pleasurable sensation in my sort of upper neck area, and I just smiled without thinking about smiling. It was very illuminating and pleasurable.
Thank you, Johan.
For me, I had a lot of sensation, like it was a stone, it started off cool and now it's like hot. And but it was really like my mind wandered a bit and I brought it back, but by the end I felt very present, and also I felt an aliveness that it shifted when I stopped, like right at the end when you said stop. With that, even just like I was going very, very slow, but then when I stopped, it was a difference in aliveness. That's what I could describe. So yeah, that was super interesting.
I'll share. My name is Kea. Sorry, I can't rename my camera, but anyway, I felt this really nice sense of peace in my body, and it was sort of like an opening, especially in my chest, but it felt like it was all the way like a channel all the way down kind of to my lower chakras, and just like this presence and just a safe feeling, like I was just ready to receive and exchange.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah.
Okay, one or two more.
I had this pen,
Yes.
and what surprised me was noticing how I sort of started caressing it. I became very gentle. And then in hindsight, I realized I was more hectic and agitated to begin with, but the pen sort of slowed me down and opened this softness in me somehow.
I also have a very warm stone here, and it feels totally different than it looks like now. And in between, I mean, there were thoughts and I felt them like going away. Then I heard the crickets and the dishwasher. I was like, oh, but the stone is still here. And then in the end, when I let it rest in my hands, there was like a prickling sensation, like all of a sudden from the hands all to the elbows and even a bit higher on both arms. I was like, oh, what's that? But that was like, it felt funny, not good or bad, just interesting. Yeah. I think I really like that stone now.
Yeah, maybe you want to marry it. I've heard that so many times from people saying, "No, I'm in love with my pen," or "It's so beautiful." So what you have done now with this little exercise is literally a really, really complex somatic experience. Yeah, specifically for the duration of 5 minutes, staying present with the sensation. And I would like to see by hand signs. Have you noticed about yourself that your attention was going somewhere else and it was an effort to bring your attention back to the sensation in your hands? Please raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. Who have been for the entire 5 minutes completely focused like a laser sharp on the sensation without any distraction? Raise your hand. Okay, good. You're my teachers. I love that. So what I want to say is that this exercise guides you straight into the dark masculine. The dark masculine means in here, without any agenda, without any intention, without anything, it's an experience in your nervous system that you are in action for yourself. It's self-regulating your nervous system. It helps you to stay focused and present, and it's the core neurological pathway of touch, bond, and connection that you have established now. Yeah, so it's a really profound thing, and it's conditioned in our psyche through society, through our upbringing. That's something wrong with this. Yeah, so we just stop that to some degree. And what most of us do is when we touch another person, we don't feel ourselves. When we touch another person that way, as you felt this little piece that you had in your hand, most of us try to get a response that makes us feel good about ourselves, what we do. And that is already the brink from the dark masculine into the unhealthy masculine, into the shadows, without people knowing it. So that said, there's nothing wrong or bad when we do that, when we touch another person and we do that we just tune in what is coming back and we enjoying that. But if we don't feel ourselves and we are dependent on what is coming back, we abandon ourselves and our own experience and getting lost in somebody else's experience, and most of the time creating an agenda that something needs to happen we have no influence about. Everybody gets that? Kind of. Most people get that because I talk about that a lot. Yeah. So here you find the brink between the dark masculine and the unhealthy masculine already. However, this what we call the unhealthy masculine as being capable of tuning in somebody else's response can be a beautiful gift to guide somebody else into a state of surrender. And this is a complete paradox. And I don't want to go deeper into that, because when you are really good in the direct route, when you have it together, when you can feel yourself, while you are in tune with somebody else's responses, what comes back, but you don't do something to get a certain response that you want to have, when you stay primarily in connection with yourself and can feel yourself, then you become a master body worker. Yeah, I talk about that in different trainings. In the de-armoring training, I talk about that. I talk about that in my year training. I talk about that in the book about the professional implication. But the thing is, if we don't have the direct route in place and we only left with the indirect route that we need to get a response from somebody else that we touch by what we're doing, we diminish our life quality and our capacity to engage with other human beings. Then you have the dark masculine, or the unhealthy dark masculine, the shadows of it, and the perpetratory. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter what your gender identification is. It doesn't matter what your sex is. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter how old you are. If the indirect route is only what you can do, you are in the perpetratory, unhealthy, dark, masculine behavior. And that's for all huge, this is at least in my perception. This is how I read people. This is how I teach people. This is what I do on festivals. This is the entire book is based on that. And now I would like to break that down to you, that you have from this little somatic experience a cognitive understanding, and I would like to click them both together so that you have the picture of it as a compass. You ready for that? Yes? Thumbs up. So you can see this very complicated circle and squares and many words. Can you see all that? Where you think, holy mother, what is that? This is too complex, I can't understand that. I will break it down. It's super easy, super simple when you get the idea. So this picture that you see here is an overlay of the somatic consent engagement system, what I will explain to you in a few moments, with the shamanic circle about the dark masculine and the dark feminine, how it comes together. So first of all, we need this cross about putting that in different sections and quadrants. Yeah? And then we take the circle around that. Inside of the circle is the integrated component, and outside of the circle is the unhealthy component, or the shadows, or the survival mechanisms. So we have in this quadrant here, we have the dark masculine, and in the opposite, you have the dark feminine. Yeah? They correlate with each other. Yeah? The dark masculine and the dark feminine is that what you have done when you were in the breakout room. One person is talking, dark masculine. One person is listening, dark feminine. Yeah? And this is the way how I explain that, to make that a compass, an access point, to give you an understanding the way how you might want to see it. And then you have the light feminine here, and you have the light masculine. Would it be a conversation thing differently than you have done that in the breakout room? The light masculine would ask the light feminine to say, can you please tell me that I am beautiful and I am welcome and it is okay that I have my camera off, and can you tell me that it is okay that I drink some water? Can you tell me that? The light masculine is requesting the light feminine what he wants to hear, and she says what the light masculine want to hear. Or the light feminine makes an offer. Hey, is there anything I can tell you? Anything that you would like me to say? Yeah. So this is what would it come to conversation, the same dynamic. But we go there in a little bit. So within the circle, in the four quadrants, you have this dark masculine, dark feminine, light feminine, and light masculine. And then outside out of the circle, you have the unhealthy dark masculine, the shadows. They go very well with the unhealthy dark feminine. And I just explain that in a little bit what that is and how it looks like and how to find that. Then you have outside of the circle of the light feminine, the unhealthy light feminine, and then the unhealthy light masculine outside of the light masculine integrated. Does that make sense? Is it easy to understand? Super simple. The same four things, the same quadrants, the same dynamics you have in the somatic consent engagement system. Yeah? There are four things, and you have in the dynamic of the four things your action, yeah? And it's either your action, and this action is for you. Yeah? It's the same way as you have been talking. You were talking, that was your action, and it was for you. So you were, when you did that, when you were talking for yourself, you were in the so-called dark masculine. Or your action is for the other person. What would be the light feminine? Or when it's their action and it's for you, it's for them, then it would be the other dynamic, the dark feminine or the light masculine. And I'll show that to you in a little bit. But first of all, I would like to show you how to find the shadow dynamics, super simple and super easy. Yeah. So one of them is the agreement line, and where you ask, hey, can you tell me such and such, or can you do such and such? The other person says, yeah, I can. And the other one is the permission line, where you ask, can I talk for myself about 3-4 minutes, and you just listen? Yes, you can. Yeah. So what's in the bigger picture, the structure around that. So now I want to show you how to find the unhealthy aspects. So the unhealthy dark masculine, the unhealthy light masculine, and so on. So all 4 of them. So on this side, if you can ask for what you want, what are you doing instead? And that's a rhetoric question I just put into the room, just for a moment, that you can answer for yourself. If you feel like writing something in the chat, feel free. Not needed, but the question is how to find them. If you can't ask for what you want, what are you doing instead? So let's start with the permission line. If there is no permission, is the typical structure the unhealthy dark masculine, the shadows of the dark masculine, rape, stealing, perpetratory, abuse, violation, war. Yeah, if there is no permission. That is determining the unhealthy dark masculine. And that's not limited to man. Yeah, so we have all that. Yeah. On the other side, if there is no agreement and if you want somebody else is doing something for you and you have not asked for it, what are you doing instead? Going into expectations or exploitation, entitlement, privilege, laziness, the freeloader, the person who is exploiting other people's action for your benefit without asking for anything. That guides us to the other side. So if you can't say no, or if you don't state your limits, what are you doing instead? Let's start with the unhealthy dark feminine. What is the victim mentality, enduring, trauma responses, going along, or passive? Yeah, and this shadow here, the dark feminine shadow, goes hand in hand with the dark masculine shadow. So they go together. And then you have the last one. So if you can't say no, but you constantly provide and give and do something to get, I don't know, the appreciation and the acknowledgement, that's the burnout, the pleaser, give to get, martyr, do-gooder, the slave, nice girl, nice guy. And that goes perfectly here, the light feminine goes perfectly with the shadow, the unhealthy light masculine. So if you can't ask for what you want, the only thing that you have are the shadows. And this is how most people literally, without using this as a structure and learning to ask for what you want and being in alignment and integrity, creating this structure of the shadows. So going back here, I don't want to run too far away. Okay, so to come back to the values of that. So when you practice the dark masculine and you bring all the unhealthy shadow aspects into the light or into the open, you create a value in the dark masculine that is integrity. Yeah? Because you know when your action is for you or for somebody else. If you bring the unhealthy light masculine aspects into the open, you create gratitude for that what you have received. If you bring the shadow aspects of the unhealthy dark feminine into the open, you learn how to surrender because you can say no and stop, you know where your boundaries are. And when you know where your boundaries are, then you can relax to what is happening and you don't have to fall into the victim mentality. And the same with the unhealthy light feminine. If you can bring that into the open, you create generosity because you give only what you have and you provide only because you can. So And putting them now back together, like in the beginning, it makes probably much more sense now for you guys. It's like a compass. So what I would like to go back to here is your action for you, your dark masculine. This is the entrance point into the dark masculine, because the dark masculine entry point is so fragile and so volatile that the shadow between the unhealthy dark masculine and the dark masculine is so misunderstood that most people avoid the dark masculine completely, because the association with the dark masculine is straight into the unhealthy dark masculine shadows. And that keeps most people, men and women, all of us, away from integrating the dark masculine. But we all need, and this is where you might agree upon, the biggest thing in the world that is missing is integrity. Yeah? Being authentic and truthful to this value of the dark masculine. Protection, I've heard that word. Yeah? Being there for other people in need and giving your gift of power, power with. Okay, I stop sharing here for a moment and curious about reflections, questions, and let's have an open mic for a moment.
I was wondering about one thing.
Please.
Yeah, the difference between permission and agreement wasn't
Okay.
very...
Yes, in this. So having permission is a form of agreement, but the best way of explaining is that agreement and permission both create in my world the word consent. Yeah? Sometimes people throw the word consent around and mostly mean it is permission. Do I have consent to do that? But it's not really clear what it meant. The way how I say it is that when I ask for permission, then I ask for being allowed to do something that I want to do for myself. But when I would use the word agreement and I want you to do something for me, and I would use the word permission and I would say, "How, Alexander, now you are allowed to be in service for me." So permission wouldn't work here, and therefore the word agreement is based on I want somebody else to do an action to do for me within their limits. And that word permission would not fit here, and that's the distinction between permission and agreement. Does that make sense? Does it answer that question?
See, your explanation makes sense. It's just that in my mind, agreement falls on mutuality. So it would be, instead of can I or can you, it would be can we.
This is so cool. I like that. Thank you so much, because this is the important piece in the entire somatic consent engagement system. And I just do that for you, because it's a really important question that you just brought up here. So in the permission thing, you have a very clear thing between offer and request, and the same in the agreement line. But this is what the engagement system has in the middle, is this middle point here, what I call the apex, what is the top of it, what is the personality developmental structure. And into this personality developmental structure, this is where giving and receiving can become one, where the action can be for both, and where both can receive and give. And then it's not about a request or an offer anymore, then it is an invitation where we have a winning for all involved, what you call the we place. Yeah, does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Good, okay.
Good.
Because the system is a multi-dimensional system, and from this apex, the interpersonal place, from there you have the possibility and the option to go into a transpersonal place. Why this entire thing becomes a spiritual journey, instead of a survival mission where we're just hanging out in the shadows.
I can speak. I have two herniated discs and a very strong nerve pain in one leg. So I've been just laying down like for 2 months almost, and I'm so much in need for support. And it's so interesting to look at those things that you talk about, how I ask for support and how people are supporting me, and it's so different, all the relations, very beautiful. Yeah, I want to look at it more.
Sorry to hear that you have pain and that your body is in a bad state. So, you know, you are the expert of your body. And some people are the expert of their craft. And sometimes when you go to a chiropractor or to an osteopath, or you don't know what they can do. And you cannot tell them what to do because you don't have the expertise and you can't even verbalize it. And sometimes it's so interesting, specifically when it comes to this co-creation between physical support that we need and somebody else's expertise, that we need to give somebody else this permission to do their craft, to surrender to their action, to have a relief and benefit in our physical thing. So it's a combination between all of them, what we just shared, and it can go so easily wrong because somebody who is the expert of their craft, they are not the expert of your body because you're the expert of your body. And and some people are afraid when they are going into their craft, into their art, because they can impossibly know what the right thing is. So it needs this deep co-creation between people. Otherwise, the shadow can come up so quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting. This also happened in a session, in a massage session.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Another question, another comment, another insight. And all of whatever you say is welcome. There's no right or wrong here. It's just different perceptions and experiences of life.
I just want to add this, what you said, the co-creation with the session giver and the session receiver. Wow, it's so important, and it's very often not giving time and space for. And I am very hard to receive sessions because I really need that. It's so important for me.
It is in total art form. And you know, I have created a de-armoring structure based on that. And before I go into that place where I trust my own capacity to guide a person into their deepest state of surrender. No, let me rephrase that, please. Harry Fedis said that, so the creator of the 3-minute game said that in order to save our sanity, we need to give our power to a greater power than ourselves. Yeah. And that said is, before I can give my gift of power so that the other person can surrender to my action and to their experience, I need to know that they are capable of speaking their limits and their boundaries and asking for what they want. Before this is in place, I can impossibly assume that they are capable of speaking their boundaries when they're crossed. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, anybody else?
I would love to hear some like concrete examples on how you can like catch yourself from like when you're about to go into the unhealthy, how to like take that back and like, oh wait, I'm going there. How can I integrate, or how can I step into the open, as you said, of being.
This is so interesting, you know. As we evolve as humans, and I don't know if I can give you some really concrete examples, but as we evolve as humans, we have to be capable of taking a risk from the dark masculine. Yeah, and the dark masculine, when you give your gift of power, you need to be aware of whatever you do, and even when you have the best intentions, you never know how the other side will receive it, and you can be put so easily in a perpetratory role when somebody else put themselves in the victim role, and you have no chance to avoid that. An example that I could give is, for example, at the last festival where I was in Switzerland, there was one person at the very end excluded from the closing ceremony because in the temple night before, somebody else's boundary felt crossed. So this person got approached the next morning or in the evening, don't really know, I've not been part of that conversation, that there was complainings and he had no ideas. Yeah, but there were obviously several people saying that there was a similar incidences that that this had to be brought into the open for him stopping to engaging with people, and he was not aware of it. He felt so ashamed that he had to leave. So he didn't leave because he got excluded. He had to leave, and that was my interpretation, because he could not deal with his own shame or with his own guilt of being wrong in a group of people being called out as a perpetrator, what he obviously has not been aware of. And you know, specifically for me as a facilitator being in this role, it's always a really big stretch to be in the place of giving my gift of power and being projected upon from a victim state, that I'm a perpetrator, that my gift is actually an invasion. So when you remember back in the de-armoring training, this is what I said in the morning, just when it comes to the breathing or to TRE, you know, making it really clear that if one of the assistants or I'm as a facilitator is touching another person, that can trigger the entire trauma they have. So if you do that, for example, on a festival where the session is over and somebody feels invaded from literally a stranger, it can trigger a deep traumatic experience in somebody else. So I would just like refuse to touch somebody on a festival this way, where when you are in a training like we did that together, this trauma is very welcoming, because now there's an opportunity to be held in a safe container that we can have all together the opportunity to bring that core experience to the open and heal what needs to be healed. So there are different ways of looking at it, and I try to say it as much as I can. So handle things with awareness as much as you can, and be aware of that that mistakes will happen and stuff will go south. Intentionally, people who are in the unhealthy dark masculine, so abusers, or they see themselves as victims with the right to abuse, because they have been abused themselves in the first place. And most people would never give up this position because they have to dive really deep into their own emotional competency or incompetency. And that's painful. Does that answer that? I don't know. That was not a good example, or it was one.
It didn't answer my question completely, but it answered more than I asked for, so it's really good.
Could I have over-delivered then? I'm a pleaser.
No, but what you said now at the end, that the perpetrators that are in the unhealthy dark masculine are actually victims. Does that mean that the wounding from the beginning was in the dark feminine?
This is a good question. It's the same. My answer would be a contrary question. What was there before, the egg or the chicken? And I don't know. And there's so many different perspectives of that. Does it always come from the unhealthy dark feminine or masculine? I can't answer that. I don't know. Okay, we have one more, and then I would like to share one last thing.
Can you please tell me how those projections can be prevented? You know, projections when we are giving the gift of the power. Those projections that you were saying about, that people who are receiving it, maybe because they are not aware of their boundaries, so maybe they can slip into the victim role. So we're supposed to be then a perpetrator, right? So how those projections can be prevented?
So that other people projecting upon you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no chance. As I said, that the exercise that I'm doing at the festival, the prey protector, predator, just like you have no chance. You know, maybe because your glasses they have on the side, they're just looking kind of a little bit pokey, and that reminds somebody else to the evil teacher in school they had who just like hit them. And, you know, whatever you say, you can end up on the perpetratory spectrum of somebody else's projection, you know, and that looks different. So it can go so quick. So you have no access to that. And you know, and I like that. Is she still here? Cordula is still here. Hi, Cordula. I actually recognize that what you said when you approached me after the evening ceremony at the festival, where you said to me, now you understand what I tried to tell you about the predator, so that I have my predator in control. And there was a deep insight when you said that to me, because I don't know how people read me or how they see me. But what I own from that, what you said is, and this was the initiator for my Facebook post that you might have seen, is where I said, I'm a predator and I'm dangerous. I own that. Yeah, and I'm not responsible for people being safe or not safe. It's their responsibility. But my danger and my predator dynamic is power, and my power is to protect. And people don't know that. It's the same like when you are a wild animal and you're just actually in your power and you walk in the wild. It's just like you own your territory. Yeah, the same predator out there on Grand Central Station is a target for projection of danger and a life threat. It's the same energy that you hold, and it's depending on your environment how people project their own. What I would say is, and to bring it back, and we probably go 5 to 10 minutes over. Is everybody okay with that? If you need to leave at half, then please just like log off. You don't learn this structure by looking at the map or hearing my words, me explaining it. It won't go anywhere. What everybody and each one of us needs to do, and this is what I needed to do, and I have done tons of that, You need to play the 3-minute game, and you have to go in action for yourself into the dark masculine. And you have to play, I don't know how many times, to integrate that and feel your shame, your guilt, your fear, your awkwardness on the dark masculine and on the dark feminine side, till you recognize that this is natural in your body and this is not wrong, and that belongs to us. I just want to make it simple and easy, and this is my approach for all of us here, is that the entire structure of the 3-minute game is based on a spiritual developmental and personal developmental ideology. And the sentence that makes it most transparent is that you learn more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. So when you play the 3-minute game and you debrief after every exercise, so you're in action for yourself and the other person in action for themselves, where you go into surrender, and you debrief and you talk about yourself when you speak, you learn so much about yourself. And of course, this is not the end of human development. I have a background in so many different aspects. I have so many therapeutical, educational backgrounds, Gestalt therapy, systemic therapy, and each one of us brings so much on the table. And the beauty of that is when you explore and change with people who are more evolved than you learn more about yourself than you could learn as if you play with somebody who is less evolved. That might be true. I don't know. Might be not. But practice is a key. Practice more. You don't learn that cognitive. You don't learn that through understanding. You have to practice it. And the 3-minute game, and that what we have done with the object and feeling yourself, when you go in action with somebody else, you play this 3-minute game and you stay in connection with your sensory inflow without getting lost in somebody else's response or need a response that they don't give, and you stay there with your own experiences, and then you try to do something to get a response, you learn so much about yourself that you can't learn in any other way. So my invitation to you is just practice more, practice more, practice more. Okay, I would share a few things because time is already up. So this kind of call that we just have done now, I have created the Somatic Consent Academy, where we have every Monday from 7 till 8:30, 90 minutes with a group of people. Sometimes it's just 2 or 3 of us. Sometimes we are 5 or 10, where everything that you practice of the 3-minute game, where you have the experience, where you want to ask questions, this is the time to ask. Yeah. So if you don't know how to play the 3-minute game, the best thing is you just come over to the academy. You sign up. Each one of you can have 3 months for free. You can download this baby here, yeah, this book. There are 2 courses, the 4 Pillars of Relating and the Foundation of Enhanced Pleasure. Each one of you, when you sign up, can have a one-on-one coaching call with me. That is part of the academy. And we do once a week the hand meditation on Wednesday. And you learn this entire structure of the 3-minute game and how to play that stuff in relationships. So I would like to drop a link for each one of you. In the chat. Takes a second. Here we go. So the first link is, if you just want to have a consultation and just check out, just like, okay, individualized, what is all that about? You just want to know more, just book a discovery call. It's free. We sit together, you and I, on a call, and I just answer your questions and show you how you can make the best use out of that. Or you just say, okay, I just want to go in there, 3 months free. There's nothing to lose. You just sign up. You come for 3 months to the calls, you just like download the book, you read, you just do what you want to do. And after, 3 months, if you feel like, okay, that's enough, I don't need more, you can sign out without paying a penny. Yeah. But if you acknowledge what is being offered and you would like to be there, it would cost you for a year 397 euros or so, where you can come every Monday from 7 till 8:30, ask your questions in relationship related to this structure, and I will be there and support you as much as I can. Okay, that was it for today. For a moment, I invite you again, just for a minute or so, to take something back in your hands. Just make this connection from your rational thinking, from the lot of information delivered back into your somatic experience in your body, the internal world. Tap back in for this few moments into the sensory inflow, into feeling and sensing. And just feel for yourself what's resonating, what's the benefit. What's your takeaway? What resonates the most? What and how can you use in your own life? Making it your truth. It's not about what I'm saying, it's about yourself and what you can make out of it. Because that what you feel there in your skin, in your hands, while you're in action and feeling it, is always there. Always was, always will. You have your dark masculine on your fingertips and is waiting for you. And the integration is practice, practice, practice. Okay, then that said, bring your attention back to the screen. And if you feel like saying a few words, if you want to, feel welcome. If you need to leave and want to go, feel welcome as well. We'll be here a few more minutes. And next Monday, I'll probably talk more about relationship, about polyamory and open relationships, or you bring to the calls whatever you have you want to talk about. There's nothing we don't talk about. We talk about death and sex and orgasm, and we talk about, we have no taboos talking about things. So you're more than welcome. And we bring that into the structure of the engagement system. And if you want to say it, dark masculine, dark feminine, light masculine, light feminine. I call it the Somatic Consent engagement system. How you want to call it is yours. Okay. Feel free to ask or whatever you have, or if you need to leave, goodbye and have a fantastic day. My always ending quote is, love yourself.